Juliet Binitie joins us now. She's of the Institute of National Transformation. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Well, we'll be talking about our preparations for the elections. We know that there's so much comment. I think the chairman of INEC eventually he spoke yesterday about how he thinks politicians overheating the polity. What's your impression about our preparations and the kinds of comments people are making, first about the PVC, then the card readers, and all of those?
I was surprised. Recently, I think I was in a meeting about 2 weeks ago, and with a few friends of mine, pastors actually, and they were complaining that even in Lagos, certain people had not gotten their PVC. I got my PVC almost immediately, but a lot of people have been complaining that their names are not even on the list. So I'm wondering, I mean, at this point, after postponing the election, I told myself, I said, whatever we got to do, that election is going to hold anyhow, whatever we're going to do. Well, a lot of people have not still gotten their PVC, and I'm still shocked. We get ATMs within 1 week. What's this thing about this PVC that is so mysterious? Is there a thing about the PVC? And I'm wondering, but I don't know how ready we are regarding the PVC direction we're going, but I hope against hope that we have to look at it.
But if he had held the first time, February 14, do you think there would have been perhaps maybe more complaints?
It would have been, no,
we
February, it would have been a disaster. February 14 would have been a disaster. I know literally many people, friends were calling me, how did you get your PVC, who should I see, and all that. And I said, look, go to your, because I have a young lady working in INEC. I actually called her, said, how ready are you guys? This thing about this PVC, too many people are complaining. If a population in the south is not getting PVC, and they said north got PVC, then we need to look into it. So the postponement was good, but the system at which we are doing this, my question, are we matured for this level of election? I mean, I saw the thing about the card readers and the processes. I mean, you're talking about almost spending time with someone 10 minutes in an election day. That's crazy time. So I don't know how ready we are with all these mechanical thing as a people when so many people can't even use their phones too well.
Well, they say that that's not the intention. The intention is for us to spend about 30 seconds or even less, some cases 10 seconds with that process and then move on to the next one.
I think INEC needs to do a little bit more education in the next few days. Use all the media houses possible. Use channels. A lot of people watch you. They need to educate the masses step by step of what will happen on that day. A lot of people are still on the ignorant level. I mean, how many people really watch TV in the morning or in the afternoon when they're looking for their daily bread? But if they know on the radio, on the television, INEC is taking 1 week to educate the masses on what will happen on the 28th, people will a little bit be more prepared. But people should not go there and be shocked and say, okay, what am I supposed to do? What next? No, that shouldn't happen. In the 21st century, that shouldn't happen. There should be a step-by-step process of what that day will look like.
As to whether or not we're ready, what do you think we are in your own estimation?
Well, at this point, I feel we are fairly ready, and we should do with this. Because as a society, there's so much mistrust. So anything concerning this election going anywhere, it will cause a lot of uproar. But I feel that INEC could save the day by educating the masses quickly. You don't allow people to go into a place when the emotional level of the nation is on a verge, with people's anger level, issues, partisan politics all over the place. Meet at the polling station on that day. I mean, the violence, I don't want to talk about the violence that would happen on that day. When a man is trying to go through a process and he doesn't know what to do, he's not prepared, at least majority of the population should be aware to a certain degree of exactly what the processes will be.
Well, usually, I mean, you know that on election day, normally INEC would still, in spite of all that might have been done before, what INEC does is that they still educate those at the polling unit that this is the process is going to take. You're going to come be accredited first before you finally come back at so and so time to do the voting. So that has always been the situation. And do you think that on that day, I mean, if, for instance, they use all the other media they have and people still do not get to notice it, do you think that the education that would happen at the polling units, which is just a part of the process, would also help a great deal?
If Ebola was one of the things that we got right, and the news of what we must do, everybody got it. The average Nigerian won't greet you or shake hands. Even we as ladies, we just blow the kiss, mwah, mwah, we love you. Because education went forth behind whatever preparation was on ground. You know, this is a new type of election. We've never done this before.
You know, I'm happy that you brought the Ebola, you just reminded us, but if you look at it critically, you said INEC should educate the people. But it wasn't a form of awareness when we came with the Ebola. State governments, local governments, agencies, parastatals, even media organizations like channels, they all were on the same page. How much of voter education have we been able to get from the NOA, from the political parties, knowing full well that voter education is still one of the things that they must also contribute to the table? Are they doing enough?
That's what I'm saying. When I say INEC now, I mean INEC downloading to everybody an instruction. And I agree with you that even the political parties, individuals, civil society, and the whole 9 yard must, I think in the next 1 week, what we should be hearing is voters' education. Because this is not the election we've had. We've not gone through these electronic processes. Even in the banking sector, how many people are even willing to go through the process electronic, and how many of us even use internet banking? There are a lot of systems that we are still not acquainted with. A few of us are, and especially in Lagos, it's so easy because we have a lot of elites here and there who are familiar with these things, but down into the villages.
But is that really a fair statement, considering the fact that we registered electronically, as it were, for these elections? If anybody says he or she has a PVC, at least that person would have gone through that process of their fingerprints being captured, their picture being captured. We don't have to go through that again. All we're saying is, bring your card, it's be read, and then you just put your fingerprint somewhere. One fingerprint, not all 5. Are we saying that this process is so strange, so novel, that people can't get used to it with how many minutes of education?
For example, you're getting there on a day that everybody's in test. You also have to consider environment. At this point of this election, it's different. I am saying, for example, if the card readers are not working, I heard that they said, okay, they will change.
That's an if.
That's what I'm saying. We need to preempt the people to understand that if card readers are not working at this point in time, be patient. Don't hassle yourself. Do this, do that. Wait, X time, new card readers will be sent into that polling center. X will happen. Not on the day that they will think the man who is in charge of that polling booth, or he's the one who has created a circumstance for that card reader not to read. Because this is our psychic. At this point in time, we are critical. We are emotional. A lot of things are happening. Everybody is desperate.
Why do we have this type of psyche? What is making us desperate?
It's election. Every election is different. This particular one, everybody is desperate. The smear campaign, the issues that are at hand, everybody is desperate. If there's ever been a consciousness about an election, it's this election.
Why do you think this is so?
Because, as a nation, we're also maturing. The media capacity also has expanded. People are more involved with information. Unlike maybe a few years ago, they have better access to internet. Everybody probably has a hangar somewhere, and news is spreading. So there is consciousness that we want a nation, and we're becoming mature because of the level of information we are getting. So people are more conscious, and it happens in every society. The moment you open a society to information, you open a society to media, you open a society to different level of understanding, the society will demand more.
And it's positive,
and it's good.
It's positive growth.
It's positive growth. It's necessary. The tension is good. Because for once in our lives, we're deciding our destiny, and we're wanting a different nation than we ever wanted before. So it's a good thing, but also you must always prepare for the downfall, just in case. What should we do? Good leadership preempts issues. You look into the future and even extrapolate the possibility of the things that could go wrong.
You know what?
And be ready to hold up.
Sorry to butt in there. What I'm picking from your talk of awareness, this could also help us in the event of any kind of skirmish or violence on election day.
Precisely.
Because if we're pretty much armed as to the workings of this particular card reader, no one would even think that the man or maybe the officer is trying to sabotage a process.
Exactly. Depending on which zone, which region. And so everybody's getting much of, oh, Southwest, APC has come. Somewhere in the PDP zone, PDP has come. the suspicion is going to be reduced or minimized. Of course, we can't entirely eliminate, but it will be minimized to a certain degree if we prepare the people mentally with a little bit of understanding. We will not get it all right, but they will get to the level of understanding, because news will spread. When you're going, this is what you do. For example, there's one WhatsApp that was being sent all over. When you're going to the polling booth, make sure you're on flats, canvas, don't wear your jewelry, don't put anything that is attractive.
So
look very plain. Yes, look very plain and all that. And people are actually taking it seriously.
Did they say it will help the carry the work?
No, I mean, that time people did not understand what carry is, but just at least preparing to go to the polling booth, make sure you don't look fancy. Okay. Be simple. You should find a face cap. For the ladies, they find a face cap, be mundane, make sure, I mean, mostly say put on a trouser just in case you need to run. So there is a sense that we need to understand as a society that there's a sensitivity, so we need to address it, not ignore it, as it were.